Welcome to Prepared Enough, a podcast for moms who want to lighten the mental load of motherhood and create homes where kids can thrive. I'm your host, Natasha Mila, former teacher, mom of four, and firm believer that a well-prepared home can do a lot of the heavy lifting for you. During each episode, we'll explore simple ways to design organized, intentional spaces and rhythms that build your child's responsibility and bring more ease into your day. So if you're ready to create a home that works with you and not against you, you're in the right place. Hit follow and let's get started. Can I have a snack? Can I have a snack? Can I have a snack? Mom, can I have a snack? Have you heard that question today yet? How many times? Let's talk about this. Let's talk about snacks and let's talk about snack stations. I figured this was a decent episode to do in September, not December, it's September, with back to school, whether you are sending your kids to school out of the home or homeschooling. Having a snack station will be helpful for your day-to-day mom life, and we are going to talk about why. So in today's episode, we are going to talk about what a snack station is and what a snack station isn't, what the point of a snack station is, what foods you might consider including in a snack station, and I feel like I'm going to say the word snack like 8 billion times in this episode, where to store like the sometimes snacks that you want to keep in your house but that you don't want your kids to have full access to, things like chips, crackers, granola bars, things like that. And we're going to talk about organization of your snack station. So, but we're just going to dive right into this episode. And we're just going to go through all those little points that I just talked about. It should be a pretty short and sweet episode. I know nobody wants to listen to like a 45-minute episode during the first couple weeks of school. You had a lot to think about already. So I hope this can be a helpful, short and sweet episode. So we're going to get right into it. So we are going to talk about what a snack station is. So a snack station is just kind of a single area in your kitchen, or I guess in an area of your house. It doesn't necessarily have to be in your kitchen, but probably will be. A single area where snacks are available for your kids to eat and easy to grab. So what does that kind of actually mean? Available to your kids means that you want it to be full of healthy enough items that you're not going to get us upset about your kids eating regularly. So things like nuts or fruit bars, probably not things like packs of chips. And I hate putting granola bars in my snack station because I feel like our kids just only eat the granola bars then, right? So it's going to be a single area in your house where kind of everything is easy to grab and it's all readily available to grab and go for your kids. So when they ask, can I have a snack? They can come and they can actually grab something and you don't feel guilty that they're grabbing something from this area. So yeah, it's available for them to eat, and then it's easy for them to grab. So it's either prepackaged or it's packaged yourself into like serving sizes, like snack sizes, right? So if you're buying a big container of nuts or dried blueberries or something like that, you're gonna put that into smaller snack sizes so that your kids can kind of grab it and know like this is one single snack if I'm grabbing this little container. So when I ask for a snack, I can go grab one of these and not just have like the entire bag of dried blueberries, right? And we'll talk about this later, but you don't have to go out and buy fancy snack containers or anything. You can use what you have on hand and slowly but surely kind of gather some new materials if you feel like you want to. And then for you might, like us, consider having 2 snack stations, one in a cabinet and one in a fridge. So, because there's going to be some foods that you want to have readily available as snacks for your kids that are refrigerated items, right? So we personally have a cabinet and a fridge shelf. The fridge stuff definitely takes more work, and the space is kind of less than ideal because a lot of times you have a full fridge of like leftovers and things that you're using to cook real meals, right? And then in the fridge, you're kind of basically going to have to like refill snack containers and I don't know. So anyway, I just feel like the fridge stuff always takes a little bit longer to kind of prep to have it readily available because it's not as easy to find. I mean, we'd buy like those little circle red cheeses and string cheeses and stuff, and there's fruit for them to eat and sometimes veggies and stuff, but I do feel like it's a lot easier to find snacks for the cabinet that are already prepackaged and that you have to do less work for. So everything about this snack area, snack station should be accessible for your kids. So that means also what a snack station also is it is going to be like down low or mid-level if you have a baby that you don't want to get into the cabinet, but then you're going to you could keep a stool nearby if your other kids can't necessarily reach it, all of the things that they need to reach, but it should be available and accessible for your kids. So those are kind of the things that a snack station is. So it's available, and it's like if they ask for a snack, they can know that they can go get something from that cabinet. It's easy to grab, like it's prepackaged or it's packaged in smaller containers. You might consider having one in the fridge, like 2 different ones, a fridge one and a cabinet one, and it should all be accessible and reachable for your kids. So make sure you're organizing it, knowing that they're going to be the ones getting into it and being more independent with that. What a snack station isn't. A snack station does not have snacks that are in giant containers, right? So the bulk size containers of everything. Kids, and honestly, adults too, like us too, we will not eat the giant container of nuts. But if you put them into like small snack size containers, I know that I'm more inclined to like grab a quick little container of nuts versus having to open up the big container and like take a handful of nuts. I don't know why. It's like not any harder. It actually takes more time for me to put it into a different container, right? But for some reason I eat it less. But if I see it as a snack form, then I'll eat it more. So I feel like it is not, so a snack area is not going to have these giant containers because kids are certainly less likely to grab a handful if adults are already not grabbing a handful. A snack station should not have snacks that you do not want your kids to eat all the time. So think things like chips or candy or all the crummy, unhealthy foods that you don't really want your kids to eat. You can certainly still have these foods in your house. I'm not saying that you have to go get rid of all of your parade candy, but I am saying that you should keep it all in a different locations, especially if you have little kids, because I feel like it's like, and keep it out of sight if you have little kids. I just highly recommend these kind of snacks being kept like out of sight and up high where your kids cannot climb. This will just help you avoid some arguing over everybody wanting a treat all the time. A snack station also should not have any tricky containers to open. So I know sometimes packages are difficult to open when they come prepackaged, and you can kind of solve that by number one, teaching your kids how to open a new snack a couple times, and if you have a kid older than 3, they should be able to kind of start to learn how to hold their hands and open snack containers or like prepackaged snacks. But after that initial teaching is complete, you can kind of, like after a couple times, try to encourage them to try it themselves if it's something prepackaged. Or you can also keep a pair of kids' scissors nearby so that they can just cut the snack open. That works too. Now, I do like to teach them the proper way to open a snack, just because I feel like whenever they're at other people's houses or at school or something in the future, they're just going to need to know how to open those snack containers, and it's just, they're more willing to learn when they're littler, I think, rather than when they're older. And so it's just an easy thing like, oh, try it yourself. And then they get so excited when they can finally figure it out. But kid scissors are a good thing to have on hand if they're having a hard time with some of those. Yeah, and then obviously if you're using your own containers to pare down some bulk items, make sure that they're not super tricky containers to open for your kids. Obviously, if you're using like Ziploc bags or something that you have on hand, it might be hard for them to reseal if they're not going to finish the whole snack. So you might have to help with something like that. But, just don't make it like a super tricky cap to unopen for all of the items, because then you're going to have to put in some work to get a snack for them, even though that's kind of the point of a snack station. So let's go right into that. The point of a snack station. What is the point of a snack station? I think it serves a few points, like a few purposes. So here are a few of these purposes. I think number one, it is a place that's going to help you. The snack station is going to help you to avoid having to get your kids snacks all day long, like 8 different snacks all day long. So, having this is going to, and having containers that they can open and healthy foods that they can just quick grab, you're going to be able to say, when they ask you, can I have a snack? You're going to be able to say, yes, go get one. And they're going to go get one, right? And it's all going to be fine and dandy. And another purpose of a snack station is to kind of foster that independence and that healthy choices in your kids. So they're independently opening their snacks and getting their snacks for themselves. And they're also seeing all those healthy choices as what they should be kind of picking from for a snack. So it's kind of fostering that independence on getting something for themselves, and also for them to start thinking about making healthy choices. And then another thing that I think is beneficial about a snack station is that it is easier then for you, the parent, to see what kind of snacks you have already and what kind of snacks you could use to add to your grocery shopping list. So this means, like, when containers are empty, of course, you're going to think, oh, what should I put in this part of our snack station? But also, just to kind of see all of the snacks all together is a little helpful, because you can kind of see, oh, I have a lot of fruit type of snacks, or I need some more protein in there, or I need some more nuts or something like that in there. So it's a good way to kind of see what you're offering as snacks as a whole and what the kids have to choose from. And then also it helps you to know when you're running out of stuff, right? So what to include in your snack station? You're going to, obviously, we said this a bunch of times, so you're going to want healthy snacks. So there's a bunch of ready-to-go snacks at a lot of different stores. We shop at Aldi and Costco. 99% of our groceries and stuff come from Aldi or Costco. But Walmart and Target and all kinds of different stores, grocery stores, have the same brands and the same kinds of snacks. So wherever you go, you're going to be able to find something. It's just what their price is, right? And whether or not you're going to spend the price at one of those other stores and stuff. But most of the ones that our kids are fruit related, obviously, but there are plenty of options. And I'm going to link to a couple blog posts where people share their favorite Costco snacks. We like those beefs. We like their beef sticks and stuff like that too. Nuts, whatever. But yeah, so our favorites are the fruit related ones, of course. So I feel like if I were looking at my snack cabinet, I'd be like, I need to add some more protein in here, So it is kind of helpful to see that. But there's a blog called My Everyday Table. And I think the author's name is, let me see, Emily. I had it written down in my notes. Emily. So she has 2 really good blog posts on the topic of snacks. One is a list of 75 of the best healthy snacks for any time of the day. And one is a list of a bunch of Costco specific snacks. So I'll link to these in the notes. They're great references. And Emily, from My Everyday Table, she lists a lot of our personal favorites in her list, which is why I thought it was a good list when I was looking up some lists for you guys to link to. And I'll also link to another good healthy snack Costco list as well. So I'm kind of focusing on Costco. But again, these same brands are at Walmart and other places too. They just are in smaller packages and cost a little bit more money than the ones at Costco do. So, you're going to have to make a good choice for your family. But anyway, so I will link to those in the notes, but generally, what kind of snacks should you be looking for? I'm kind of going to piggyback off of the advice that Emily from My Everyday Table gives in one of these. I think it's the 75 best snack foods. So I'm piggybacking off of her kind of list of important things that a snack should be. One, it should be either you could try for either or both. Produce snack, which would be like a fruit and veggie sort of snack, which now you can think of that as fresh, right? Or you could think of it as freeze-dried or in pouches, etc. You can try a protein-packed or a fatty snack. Think things like cheese or hummus, yogurt, seeds, nuts, hard-boiled eggs, beef sticks, guacamole. And then when it comes to grain, if you're going to add a grain into your snacks, try for whole grain. So you might want to add a granola into your yogurt or have some chips for the guacamole. So those are kind of her 3 categories she talks about as snacks, like produce, protein and fat, and grains. And then she has 2 important notes that I do really like. So I'm going to note them here on this episode. But she says, make sure that it's flavorful, because honestly, doesn't that make sense? Like if it doesn't taste good, nobody's going to eat it anyway. So it doesn't really matter if it's healthy. So make it flavorful. And then she says, be sure it's satisfying. And her quote in her blog post was really good on this. So I'm just going to quote Emily from My Everyday Table and what she says about satisfaction when it comes to eating a snack. So she says, satisfaction is such a huge part of nutrition, in my opinion, because you know what happens if we eat something and it's not satisfying? We go back and eat something else and eat something else and eat something else until we are actually satisfied. And many times this means ending with the food we wanted in the first place. And that is so true too, right? So make sure it is satisfying and flavorful, and then has one of those kind of healthy components to it, right? Now, I'm just going to kind of wrap it up with a couple tips, generally speaking, and then a couple tips for organizing. So a few tips, generally speaking. Tip number 1, snacking is about balance. You don't have to eliminate all unhealthy food from your home. You might still toss chocolate chips in a yogurt for a sweet snack sometimes, but that doesn't mean you want your kids having free reign of chocolate chips, right? So if you have less healthy snack components that you don't want your kids to have complete access to, make sure you keep these in a separate area. I think of these snacks in my head, and I probably use this term to the kids sometimes, but I just don't really say much to the kids about it. I think in my head of these as like a sometimes snack or a sometimes food. I feel like as I'm saying that out loud on this episode, this might be something that what's that show? Why I'm like having a brain for it right now. Sesame Street. That's the show I'm looking for. I feel like this is something Sesame Street says on their show. Anyway, sometimes snack. But I don't really like address it to our kids like that. I just think of it in my head. Maybe I do say it sometimes. I don't know. But I've heard people call them fun snacks, and I don't like when people say that. And this is because I feel like when you call something like, "Ooh, we're having a fun snack" or something like that, there's a difference between treats. Like, of course, you're going to call a treat, because a treat isn't really a snack. Like a cookie is a dessert. It's a treat. It's not a snack, right? You might have it as a snack, but it's certainly not a snack item in my brain, right? But when you call like a snack item that is like a chips or something like that, I don't like when people call them like fun snacks, because I feel like it implies that all other healthy snacks that you have available are boring, right? Which is not true. They're good and satisfying too in a lot of different ways, right? And so I just feel like we don't need to draw more attention to the fact that like kids already love chips more than a bag of nuts, right? So you just don't need to draw so much attention to having like a fun snack. We're having chips today. It's a fun snack, right? Just like, just don't talk about it, right? You might have to also, like, if you have these sometimes snacks, you might have to do some rearranging of your kitchen cabinets, because you want them to be out of reach of your kids, right? And so for us, we keep our chip, pretzel, crackery type of snacks in a cabinet above our refrigerator, and we keep our candy and treat bucket on a shelf in an upper cabinet where the kids can't really reach, or honestly, they can't even really see that it's up there. Tip number 2, if you want to buy something larger in size or in bulk, you're going to just probably want to split it up into snack containers. I know that if it's for the snack station, obviously, I know that we kind of have talked about this already. If it's a sometimes snack, like a bag of chips, obviously you don't need to put that into snack container, because you're probably not going to put those. I mean, maybe you might put them. So if you're going to put them in the snack station, then put them into smaller containers. But if you're not, and you're just keeping them in an extra area, no big deal, right? But if you're putting them into the snack station, put them into smaller containers so that your kids know what a portion size is that you want them to kind of have. I'm not saying you have to like measure the actual portion size. I'm just saying like put it in an amount that you feel comfortable giving your kids, right? And then keep the extra leftovers of this snack in a separate spot. So again, I'm going to personally say our example for us, we keep our extras like right above the snack cabinet. So it's actually all in one cabinet. It's just on the top shelf so that I can see, oh, we have extras of these to restock into the snack containers below. And then, I need to put this on the grocery list, right? So we have it kind of all in the same space. And last but not least, tip number 3, blame your inanimate objects. So blame that snack cabinet. blame it for running out of a favorite snack. Be like, oh, whoops, there's no more in the cabinet. I guess you can't have that snack. We'll have to put it on the grocery list, right? So be strategic here. Purposefully, sometimes you might allow for favorites to dwindle and wait to restock these favorites until some of the lesser favorites have been eaten a little bit. It's like hilarious, once their favorite thing is out of the cabinet, all of a sudden there's another favorite, right? So, and they'll eat some of the other snacks that they haven't even touched in like the last month, right? So it's fine, they pretend things are their favorite, I think, sometimes. Okay, and then a few tips when it comes to organizing the healthy snacks in your snack station. So start with containers and stuff that you have. So if you're looking at your cabinet and you have some shelves on there, right, whatever, you are going to want to consider having some sort of smaller open containers to separate each type of snack. So this could mean that you have like little baskets or bins or something that you're going to use in your cabinet. Maybe you have those on hand. Or it could literally just mean like ripping off the tops of the boxes of each snack item and just storing them in an organized fashion. So you don't have to get super fancy here, just so that it's accessible, so that your kid can grab it off the shelf and take out a snack and put it back into the shelf in a spot where it goes, right? And then if you're buying in bulk, again, I'm just going to repeat it, but split it into snack containers, like snack size amounts for the snack cabinet. So you're not going to have like big bags of anything in there. You're going to have everything is going to be something that a kid can come in, grab, and leave the cabinet with, knowing that it's a snack portion, right? And then if you have any extras, just put it in a separate spot. I just said that. I know I'm repeating myself, but it had to do with organization. So I felt like I had to repeat it again. And then I know I'm repeating myself kind of again, but if you have that bulk item and you're splitting it, do you already have containers that you could use? I know for us, we have like a whole cabinet of little jars that I hardly ever use. I save them for putting things into the refrigerator. And sometimes we do have a full fridge with a ton of our jars being used, but most of the time, half of them are being used, and so I could use them in my snack cabinet, right? And I have little ones that I could just save for the snack cabinet. Or if you don't have any kind of little containers or anything, I'm sure you have some plastic sandwich bags or snack size bags for now that you can use until you have collected some jars or small containers or tins or whatever. And generally, just have a cabinet. I'm just saying this again, I'm repeating myself again, but it has to do with organization. Have a cabinet that's reachable for your kids, and so that when they say, can I have a snack? You can say yes, and they can go and make sure it's all accessible so that they can go and get it all to themselves. So it should be reachable for your kids, loaded with healthy foods that you don't mind your kids eating, in containers that are snack size portions that they can open up themselves, right? So I'm sorry for repeating myself again, but that's just generally the gist of a snack cabinet and snack station and stuff. So that's it. So I don't know how long that was, but I hope it was short-ish. All right, so that is pretty much it on me chatting about snack stations. Now drink water and eat some snacks from your snack station, everybody, okay? Talk next time. Tash.